What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be critiquing the advice that professional videographers is giving to the new beginners. Since 2016, videography has been a booming business. So obviously, we've came a long way from where we used to be back then till now. Like I always say, the game didn't change, it's just new players in it. Now, if you're into these kind of videos, consider subscribing so that way you can see more videos like this. In this video, I'm going to be critiquing Fulan Creative and see what kind of message that he has for the newbies out there. All right, let's start it.
If you're looking to get into videography or you've already started your journey, then congrats, because I don't think there's a better time to start than now. Video is taking over, and I'm gonna give you 5 tips that I wish somebody would have gave me when I first started out, because it would have saved me a lot of valuable time and money. My first tip to you is that you learn to lock and load. In the first year or two, when you're still learning how to operate your camera, how to compose your shots, and all the other things that you're gonna have to learn, the last thing that you wanna worry about is camera movements.
That is facts.
As a beginner, all your shots should be locked off on a tripod. It's tempting to always wanna use fancy handheld movements like pushes and pulls, tilts and pans, but doing so in the beginning is like trying to ride a bike before you've learned how to walk.
I have a love-hate relationship with this first tip because honestly, I feel like you should be getting to know handheld and tripod at the same time. I'm the type of person that I have to be educated and equipped with knowledge that whenever an opportunity appears, I know that I can switch gears whenever I need to. So in this case, I would definitely say you should be learning handheld and tripod at the same time. Handheld is basically learning the ergonomics of your camera and knowing how it balances to your body, and also you learning how to walk with it and learning how to stay stable while you walk. And if you're dedicated enough on your free time, you should be putting handheld into practice.
So that being said, one of the first things that I would get after purchasing my camera is a good tripod. And my next tip for you is that you make sure to follow the golden rule. This means that you have to wake up really early in the morning and start filming just as the sun is starting to rise. Or you could go out in the evening as it's starting to set. And if you got some hardcore deadlines to meet, then you may have to do both. These 2 times of day are called golden hour, and they'll reward you with super soft light, which will make every shot look flattering. Whereas if you shoot during the day, the lighting is very harsh and difficult to deal with.
Yes, getting comfortable with golden hour is important, but that's not a realistic time frame for every kind of shot that you will need. As you're learning golden hour, you need to learn how to light properly in sunlight and daylight, because they're both important. There's tools that you can purchase that can help you transition hard lighting into some really soft, beautiful lighting.
My third tip is to avoid gas at all costs. Gear acquisition syndrome is a condition that many of us are unknowingly plagued with.
I don't think I was ever guilty of this because I've always focused on upgrading my skills way before I upgrade my gear. That's a bullet that I dodge, and that's definitely a beginner mistake.
If you're not satisfied with the results that you're getting, and you keep thinking that if you just switch cameras or you buy that super expensive lens or other piece of gear, it's gonna solve all your issues, believe me, it's not. A person that knows what they're doing is gonna be able to get amazing results with the most entry-level camera gear. And a person who hasn't learned and practiced enough won't be able to make meaningful content even if you hand them the most expensive camera and lens. After you have your camera and your tripod, the next things that I would get would be a good key light, a softbox, and a good shotgun microphone. And these are gonna up your video quality much more than any expensive piece of camera equipment.
Lighting in itself is a whole different rabbit hole. I'm in a hotel room and my lighting conditions are horrible. However, because of my knowledge of lighting that I had to acquire, I was able to make shift with an Aperture MC and throwing a tissue right over it. It may not be the best, however, it's getting the job done on the road.
And make sure you don't overlook this 4th tip, which is if you leave without a list, you're gonna return with shots missed. Just sit down with a pen and pad and write notes on the story or ideas that you're trying to communicate. Then after that, make a shot list. Making a shot list isn't just about streamlining your workflow. It's also to ensure that you don't come back after a long day of shooting just to realize that you missed a few key shots that you needed. This will save you from having to make a second trip. Once you arrive on the scene, there will be plenty of opportunities to get footage of so many things that you didn't anticipate in your shot list.
This right here is really important. And that's something that I overlooked my whole career However, I never paid the price for it. I had to learn really quick when I started working with teams and I started working with the crew. Pre-production is one of the most important phases of the production. If you can extract everything that's going on at your head and you can relay that on a piece of paper and then share that with your team will have no issues on what to do when it comes shooting day.
And you should get footage of as much of it as you can, but only after you've gotten all the things that you needed on your shot list. This way, when you get back in front of your computer to edit, you'll have everything you need, along with some bonuses as well. And my last tip is that you 3x every shot.
Ooh, I think I know where he's going.
Let me explain. Once you pull out your shot list, make sure that you get 3 versions of each shot on the list. Get a wide shot, which is also called an establishing shot, a medium or your main shot, and an up close and personal detail shot of everything. This is gonna make a simple sequence much more interesting, and it'll also make editing so much more enjoyable as you'll have multiple options for each scene. And it's simple stuff like this that separates good visual storytelling from mediocre.
That's one of the biggest mistakes I had to learn real quick. If you have all those 3 types of shots that he's talking about, you will make sure you cover your ass. Okay, so what is my take on this creator? I honestly think he's been through it. He went through the trial and errors. He also learned from the trial and errors. And the things that he said today was very valuable. A lot of these tips that he shared today, a lot of people such as myself did not get those tips. That's why the #1 thing I tell beginners is to learn and immediately go out and practice. Learn 50% of the time and practice 50% of the time. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, hit it with a thumbs up. And also go ahead and give Full On Creative a follow as well. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on my next one. Deuces.